Okay. Okay, cool. Yep. Welcome everyone to the 2020 APAC Groundbreakers Virtual Tour by APAC OUC. And this year our event would be the biggest one ever done with 174 sessions that would be including normal sessions, workshops, and hands-on labs from 123 different speakers over 11 days. Also, it would cover sessions on 4 different languages. So please remember to register to as many sessions as you can. And all sessions would be available to replay as many times as you want for 2 weeks after the initial session date and time. You can also interact with the speaker at any time during that 2 weeks by posting questions or comments directly in the playback session page. Now, I would like to say thanks to all Oracle user groups and Java user groups that made this event possible, and also to our sponsors, Oracle Groundbreakers and CloudDB. Now for today's session, Ksplice, Zero Downtime Updates for Oracle Linux and Oracle VM by Eugenio Perez. Please feel free to write questions at any time during the session at the Q&A tab of the Zoom webinar, and the speaker would be answering them at the end of the session. If any issues during the presentation, please feel free to contact me at any time in the chat tab of the Zoom webinar. Now, without any more delays, I would like to leave you with this amazing session by Eugenio. Take it away, Eugenio.
Hi, guys. Welcome to the session. Good morning, good afternoon, wherever you may be. I hope you enjoyed this one. It's a Ksplice patching for no downtime for Oracle Linux in Oracle Hypervisor, OVM. So, let me just share my screen. Sorry, can you see my screen, guys? Yep, should be right there. Cool.
Yep, all good.
So Ksplice Zero Downtime Updates for Oracle Linux. So what is Ksplice? So before that, let me introduce myself. I'm Eugenio Perez. I'm from Datacom. As you can see, all logos, all shirts are all pointing towards Datacom. It's a computer service provider here in New Zealand, a big one. Australia, New Zealand, and now expanding to UK and some other parts of Asia Pacific as well. So I'm a technical consultant in OVM SME. So yeah, that's me. And so for our session for today, we'll be doing Ksplice Zero Downtime. We'll discuss the overview, features, use cases, and deployment options. And hopefully we can do some short demo if the timing allows us. So yeah, let's go dive in. So what is Ksplice? So Ksplice is simply an open source extension of the Linux kernel, updates like critical components of your Oracle Linux installation with all the important security patches without needing to reboot. So Ksplice is a tool you can use to patch your servers, Oracle Linux servers, without having any outage. So this is available if you are a Linux Premier, subscribe to our Oracle Linux Premier support in Oracle. So yeah, so you need that subscription to be able to use Ksplice. And if you are already on that subscription, you'll be able to take the advantage and benefits of Ksplice tool. So how is Ksplice live patching works? So how it works, it's basically the way the processes or threads have been shown here. So all the threads have been processed and joined into a what you call a trampoline process. So you got your OS old or existing OS kernel function running, and you got your new OS kernel function also running. So what it does is all new codes will be triggered to the new OS kernel. So to enable new functions, write some pulling jumps at the start of the old OS functions, and to safely apply patch, Ksplice sees when a code is being executed, looks at the thread, and determines when to run a splice. So what it does, it determines when and where to run it. So if it runs on the old kernel, it will then eventually run into the new kernel, as what the diagram shows. So switch occurs in microsecond faster than application can detect. So there will be um, no outage to any application or anyone using if you're running any databases. So there will be um, no detection of any sort of outage at all. So that is how Ksplice live patch work. Um, so now, what are the features of this Ksplice? It's easy to set up and literally easy to set up. It's just installing packages coming from the ULN or Unbreakable Linux Network. Um, those are Ksplice and Ksplice Uptrack. So yeah, just install them. The usual yum install command. So yeah, oops, sorry about that. Something went wrong. Let me just quickly. Um, right. Sorry, guys. Not sure what happened there. Quickly share my screen. Uh, screen. Yep. Cool. All right. So hope you can see my screen.
Yeah, all good.
Yep. So it's easy to set up, and it gives protection for kernel in user space. So Ksplice got two install agent. So it's an agent-based tool. So you can download Ksplice Enhanced Agent or Ksplice Uptrack Agent. So it's not in my slide, but those are the two agents that you can install. So what are these two agents for? So the Ksplice Enhanced Agent are basically able to you're able to patch both the kernel and the user space at the same time. Whereas with the Uptrack, you can just only patch the kernel space. And but the good thing with the Uptrack one, it's compatible with your old Oracle Linux kernel, like RHEL 4, RHEL 5. So that's the advantage of the Ksplice Uptrack client. The Ksplice Enhanced client, though, is more compatible with your RHEL 6 and 7 and 8. So that's the where the protection for kernel and user space fall and works in your environment as well. And there's a rollback capability. So later on in the demo, we'll see how easy it is to apply a kernel package and update the kernel package and roll it back. So without performance impact at all in your system and no impact to your application, running application. So that's Ksplice features. And also proxy support if you're running it behind proxy server, so it can support that as well. Web management tool, it gets some GUI as well. Secure infrastructure, obviously. And then email notifications, it's capable of sending you out notification whenever a bug or a kernel or an update, kernel update is required to your system. So the other thing is the API and monitoring capabilities and the access policies as well. So access policies allows you can basically control who's whether whoever gonna is able to see your um, dashboard for other users. So that's access policy. So use case. Why do we need to use Ksplice at all? So first, it's for zero-day patching. So zero-day patching comes along if you're aware. There's so many vulnerabilities nowadays, ghost vulnerabilities, so some other vulnerabilities out there. So and when the zero-day vulnerability comes along, obviously um, managers and all system administrators, security staff are all all scrambling to have these patches installed in their system as they require it to address the vulnerability. So with this tool, you can straight up easily apply those vulnerability patches without any downtime at all and schedule a downtime whenever it's possible for the customer. Next, critical system patch with no downtime as well. So production environment patch with no downtime. So you can just relax. You don't need to organize, as mentioned, you don't need to organize team heaps of team coordination, like you need to contact the database team, you need to contact the application team to shut down the database for you guys to patch the system. So you don't need to go through those things. You just need to patch it, and one command and it's patched, and your system will be secured. So that's really cool feature and use case for Ksplice. Next is cost reduction, and as I mentioned, no after hours work weekend for those patching in the weekend and all those tiring outages, scheduled outages from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. So some of you guys are already tired of doing that. So this will help us with that, and also reduce the amount of multi-team coordination as mentioned a while ago. So yes, so those are some of the use case or advantages of using Ksplice. Now, now we go to the deployment options. So there's several types of deployment options. There are four types of them. I'll just be discussing, I think, about three of them. One is Ksplice Online, which is each system connects directly to Ksplice service via the internet status interface, auto install updates. So um, this may not be ideal for any organization at the moment. I know you guys obviously trying to protect your organization from any vulnerabilities and hackers out there. So you basically are behind a firewall or a proxy server. So the most common deployment strategy is Ksplice Online with proxy, wherein you configure your proxy server and had this Ksplice installed through that proxy with status interface auto install updates as well. So the other one, which is probably more secured than all of this deployment, is the Ksplice offline with local YAM. So in our environment here in Datacom, we create local YAM repo. So instead of having an active connection to the internet, so we have a local YAM repo being synced on a schedule through the ULN, which is the Unbreakable Linux Network, gathering all the packages and patches. And from there, then you can be able to manually manage updates using Ksplice offline client. So that means you can run Ksplice at any point in time using your own YAM repo server. So you're not reliant on the internet connection or to the connection to the ULN at, at that moment. So you get an offline copy, which is really cool. And if you got a more secure facility, you can also do a completely offline um, deployment strategy, which is for air gap environments, manually transfer packages from DVD, USB, SAP, SSH. So you've got this image that will be put onto those servers for high security, and then you can apply your patches through that. So those are the deployment strategy. Probably in most of the organization, you'll be looking at doing the local YAM repo deployment, which is a bit secured, and yeah, takes away the dependency from internet connection or outside connection for your customers. Cool. And with that, we'll go to some um, demo. So what I got here, uh, so I'll probably show you one. I'll stop the sharing. Yep, and go to demo. Cool. Oops. Sorry. All right. Ooh, that's not good. Can you guys see my screen? Oh, it's not. Share screen 3. Okay, share this one. Yep. Can you guys see my screen? One. All right. Cool. Thank you for that. So now you can see here this. So at the moment, sorry, at the moment, my kernel version is bring it here. So can you still see my screen? Cool. That's good. All right. So as you can see, my current version is kernel version is 3.8.13. So this is actually an old release of Oracle Linux keys. So it's 7.2. It's way back ages, I think 2 years. So what I'll do now is try to upgrade the kernel to the latest version. Yep, without any reboot. Uptrack. Get it here. Uptrack show. So Uptrack show shows me what effective kernel is there in the memory and any installed updates. So at the moment, there's nothing installed. So what I'll do now is I'll do a show upgrade. Uptrack. We can do Uptrack upgrade or up -y, and then this will basically install all the disregard the I'm running this on a so yeah, as you can see, it's already applying some of the kernel vulnerabilities patches. So yeah, it's all in there. Oh, okay, wait, let me, sorry guys, let me reshare that screen. I can share screen, this one. Yeah, can you see it now? Oh, nice. So cool. So as you can see, we got all the CVEs installed from that kernel release version up to the latest one. So now you can see that my effective kernel version is 3.8.13.118, and my previous version is 13. So you might be asking, why is my uname displaying this, whereas the effective kernel is this one? So in memory, this is what is running at the moment in memory. So this one is the old kernel. Once you do a reboot, so the other question is, when you do a reboot, it's in memory, so you can actually configure your Ksplice to do a upgrade during reboot. So after, so when you execute a reboot, it will do an upgrade. So when you reboot, a new kernel will be in place. You can also not configure that one. You can put it into no. So when the system reboot, it will stay on the same kernel version, and then you can always do a Uptrack upgrade. Yep. So at the moment, that's the kernel version. So if I do a show, you can see that the effective kernel version is 3.8.13.118, and the old version is 98, 1398. Yep. So technically, I haven't rebooted the machine, but the running kernel, or the running kernel has been able to apply all these kernel vulnerabilities. So, which is really handy. So that is the short demo. You guys, if you want to explore more, the enhanced. So this is the Uptrack client. So there's also a Ksplice enhanced client that you can use, and I'll show a short video, an 8-minute video that discuss the Ksplice enhanced client. As you can see, all my commands are using all Uptrack. So this is an Uptrack client. So I'll be playing a video for you guys with the demo from Oracle regarding the Ksplice enhanced client. Cool. So please bear with me. Yep. Can you see my video now? All good. Cool. Anyone can see my video? Yep. You still there? All good?
Hello?
Yep, all
Yep.
good.
Go.
But I can't see. Are you sharing your screen now?
Yep, there. All good?
Good. Yeah.
Cool. That's better. That's what. So here I have my server running on Oracle Linux 7. It's quite old release. It's not a Linux 7.2, and even the kernel is an Uptrack Enterprise kernel release 4. With this one, it's at least 2 years old. Now let's start to see what we can do with Ksplice. Yeah, first of all, one very interesting comment is Ksplice released all released targets. This command will show us all the possible updates related to the user space that can be installed on Ksplice. So without any kind of outage, without taking down our processes, services, applications, databases. As you can see, we have a list of packages here showing me the release that I've installed that is going to be updated by Ksplice without any kind of outage. So we have a huge list of processes that are actually leveraging, for example, glibc as well as OpenSSL on this Oracle Linux system. And at the same time, I can also see the kernel that can be
managed or can be secured by Ksplice. Another comment that obviously is maybe one of the most important is Ksplice Upgrade. This kind of command is going to verify and suggest me all the possible updates that are there and can be installed by Ksplice, or again, without any kind of outage, on both the user space components. As you can see here, we have patches dedicated to glibc as well as OpenSSL, and I can install them. Those patches are going to replace in memory both glibc as well as OpenSSL. And all the existing processes that we saw before are not going to be affected by this installation of patches. So those releases are going to be pushed on memory, and so I do not need to restart any process of service. Now, the update of user space components like glibc and OpenSSL is not completed. That's not all. Now, Ksplice is also going to verify the possible updates that are available for the kernel. And as you can see here, we have 4 different patches. all, I can proceed to roll back the security fixes that, for example, I installed user space component. And I can also decide to possibly roll back all the security fixes that are there or that are being installed of the kernel. I can also decide to roll back a specific security fix. So I'm not, obviously, I do not have to roll back all of them. I can decide also to roll back only one of them if maybe this one is going to create any kind of issue on my system. And as you can see now, the effective kernel version running on my system is what I have installed on the file system. Now I can even check again the status of patches that have been installed on my system by Ksplice, and as you can see, both for the user space components as well as the kernel, no patches are installed. So all of them have been rolled back. Obviously, it's not suggested to roll back patches just because all of them are security fixes that you can get for free. And for free, I mean, without any kind of outage, without rebooting your application, your database, or your system. I would like to thank you for the time dedicated to this very quick overview of Ksplice capabilities. On this slide, you can find all our
Cool. Sorry, Alistair, were you able to hear that video from or? Cool. So let's roll back our existing. Oh yeah. Okay. Cool. Happy to share that video with you guys as well, or the link to that video. Yeah. Let us just do a quick rollback of our. So in here, we'll do a quick rollback. So you can see, Uptrack -A is displaying 38118, which is the latest one. So now we're gonna do Uptrack remove. Right. -1. So now we're gonna roll back the kernel to its original version. And cool. Now, if you do a new name -A, so it's now back to the original 98, same 98 version. And if you do an Uptrack show, show you that there's no installed updates in kernel versions back to original. Cool. I think that's it for me. Thank you guys for listening in. And if you got any question, I think we still have 5-10 minutes, I think. You guys got any questions at all? Yep. No questions. You can post it in the chat if you're not don't want to speak. That's all good. Questions? No question. That's good. All right. All good? No question? Thinking about it? Yep. Am I on mute?
Yes,
No.
do we have any questions?
No. Nice. Ravi. Thank you.
Cool. I guess yes, as I said a while ago, if we, in case you have other questions in the next few days, this session is going to be in the
By the way, Mahesh,
Groundbreaker site.
Do you still have any issues with
Sorry.
CyberArk?
No, but I have not been using it.
Yeah, so
Sorry.
this session is going to be in the Groundbreaker site for the next 2 weeks. So you can always just post the question to the site. Sorry for the interruption. And yes, thank you for attending this session, and feel free to of course register to all the remaining sessions up until tomorrow. And
Yep.
yeah, have a great day and
Cool.
enjoy the rest of the day.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you. Stop this session.